Hello, dear viewer. It's Easter Sunday, so happy Easter. It's 2000 GMT, and my name is Gary, and I've got an electronic conspicuity problem. What does that mean? That means I am a little bit addicted to tracking stuff in the air, be it that via ADSB, or Airware, or Open Glider Network, or FLARM, or any of the other ways that I can find. There's HF ways as well. It's all very, very nerdy. Friend of mine in a group, remember yesterday I was talking about ADSB, and here I am talking about it again. I mentioned we've got a network of receivers here in South Africa, going up to Joburg and down to Durban, basically along there. And one of my chums with one of the receivers, in fact, the one up here, told me there's two of these Google Loons coming my way, past my very house. My house is over. Where is my house? My house is here. This one, HBall 495, is going to be just to the south of me, and that's pretty cool. I get crazily excited when these things go by. It's night time, it's lashing with rain. You probably can't hear that, but it is lashing with rain outside. So these things are safely above the weather. If you don't know what a Google Loon is, that's what a Google Loon is. Flying up to high altitude and providing, in this case, 100,000 people in Puerto Rico with an internet connection after that natural disaster that they had. And of course, I have to consider, in fact, let's go to that one first. Where's this one? So this is its footprint now, up at there at 60,000 feet. One you control, don't I, now in the modern world? So that's what it's seeing, which I guess might surprise some people. It doesn't look all that far. Look there, that little guy down there. That's 100 kilometres. It looks like about a centimetre. So, well, I know that Joburg's 500 k's away from here, so it would be in there. And I've actually put this spot. I'll be here in a minute. That's actually at a really excellent place. Should you ever be this way, Glengarry Camping, wonderful bar, a very nice place to stay, just up the road from me. True information. But look, see how bumpy Lesotho is, and see where all the red bits that you can see. That's where this loon can see. And here's the other one. The other one's just coming up to rights. So between the two of them, if they are handing over communications, handing off communications, I will be able to speak via them to someone in Freiburg or Bloom or right across the country from Durban to there. There's a third or fourth one in the air networked. Then plainly, we'd see them right across the country. So what's this one? Trolleying 61,200, and let's put that on satellite so it's a little bit easier. So this, of course, is there. Like you can see how crinkly Lesotho is. And Lesotho's been mentioned before in drone delivery trials, but nothing's ever actually happened there. I've had my little crack at it in simulation, but there have been no real trials there, despite what anybody else says. It's not happened. So there it is, plodding along. Why do I get so excited about them? Well, I suppose because Facebook have just fallen into bed with Airbus, with the Zephyr, to start producing their high altitude pseudo satellite system. You know, this thing goes up high, just as high as the Loons are going past, goes into great big orbits and provides internet coverage. But the thing is, Google have got experience. I don't want to say how many years of experience it is now of operating these things at high level. So even if this isn't the most efficient way of doing it, it's got to be, well, they've got to have scored an awful lot of data about what's what and where's where, and how exactly to communicate to craft at high altitude, and how the ground stations work. So even if they were to drop this tomorrow, they've got a huge amount of data. So there's the second one, obviously, HBall 477 and 495 coming through. I'll just show you the weather. Look, there's Lesotho. We're over here. There's a great big cold front just going through now. Should be through tomorrow morning. So nerdy video again. They're always nerdy, aren't they? ADSB is quite a cool thing. It's cool that these things are equipped with it, but don't forget it's not the only show in town. There are other ways of doing it. ADSB is not secure, and older aircraft will only have Mode S. Oh, that's right, I was going to show you. Mine's up there for the Lake Victoria Challenge up in Tanzania. all aircraft are mandated to have a minimum of mode S, which is great because that means you can, with multiple receivers, find their positions and multilaterate them, and of course the new aircraft have ADS-B. So I was thinking about the Lake Victoria Challenge that's coming up, and I was thinking, of course, this would be, I wonder if we could get in touch with the Loon guys and say, hey, why don't you provide some cover, or what cover could they provide for the event? One straight over Mwanza, of course it's going to work. Juma, the one island that folks will be going to, that's it there. That's the I'll show you while we're here. That's where the hotel is, where the competition is. There's the airport and the runway, and the landing site, I'm sure they won't mind me telling you, is over here, over the back of the island. So you actually go, it's 22 kilometres to there, and you'll go beyond visual line of sight when you go around the back. So that C2 link is going to be an interesting command and control problem. But the bonus points, so if you manage to do that Juma flight, you'll be allowed to go to Ukaweri, which is where the other lot have already gone. Wingcopter are already doing these flights. And that, from over here to there, is an 80-kilometre each way flight. So again, that C2, it's actually down to Nunzio here somewhere. That C2 link there would be amazing. At the moment, the reason that's happening is the boat takes 3 hours, like that, and obviously is subject to drama. And I think it's 5 or 6 hours to drive around like that to get there, and sometimes you can't get across on the ferry that's there. So the 40-minute flights that they're doing across are making a big difference. Anyway, I'm digressing, aren't I, as ever. Let's see where they're going, or where they are before we go. Yeah, look, he's still approaching R8s, and this chap is going to cross the border almost due west of me. We're here. Yeah, he's going to cross. Maybe one day they'll swing one in and drop one in at my house. I'd love to have a look at the kit on this. They have landed a couple. They do bring them down, and they've brought them down into the desert over here, just to the south of Botswana. So they have actually landed some, and that is the extent of the ADS-B and Mode S traffic in South Africa on a Sunday night that we can see in that area. So there's not a lot, is there? Anyway, with that, have a lovely rest of the week. Don't forget to join us 2100 GMT on Tuesday for our drone and sundry chat of nonsense. Have a lovely rest of the holiday. Take care.